Hello everybody, this is Andy, and welcome to episode 3 of Multiblock Madness. Now, to get started off with today, we need to get into Astral Sorcery and Embers in order to start advancing in the pack, create some of our first alloys, and do a bunch more stuff. That is rock salt. That is entirely useless. I guess I could grab some of this coal. Do I really care for it? I guess I care for it just a little bit. Oh yeah, and I have fortune, so I get a ton out of that. We should not need to mine coal for a while after those 3 seconds. But since we're getting into embers, we're gonna need some, that is ice stone. We're gonna need some more resources. I don't believe, I can mine diamonds now? Interesting. Okay, I guess we have some diamonds now. We can do something with that eventually. What is enabling that? Maybe it gained a mining level somehow? I'm not entirely sure, but I'm glad I have diamonds. We need more resources. I need lead, which comes from galena, which should be in these veins right here. Or actually, doesn't come directly from galena, does it? We would need to industrial blast furnace it or electrolyze it. We need the actual straight up good, honest lead that we can just smelt up. We might need to double this because we need a fair bit of it for this. We need 4 plates, so it's 1 to 1, times 3. Oh, so we don't need that much. We need 12 pieces. Okay, so maybe I don't need to go mining that much. This haul right here should put us good for a while. I'm definitely going to need more iron by the end of the episode, which means I'm going to need to go mining at a different level to get an iron vein, but you know, I think I'll live. Those resources go in here. We should probably craft up some coal blocks as well, just to compress them. Nope, that button right there. And we can begin getting into the episode. Let me make 8 iron plates. Let me make all the stuff for this guy. That's nothing fancy. And then we can build our ember core. In the meantime, while that stuff crafts up, I did want to mention I found a star field over here, and it looks like it's a pretty dense one. I probably shouldn't be going over here at night because it's at the edge of our base, but as you can see, since I'm holding the Phosic resonator, this should give us a ton of star power. And in fact, at the stroke of midnight, this thing is actually entirely full. My plan is to build up some kind of structure right here. I'm not entirely sure what it's going to look like yet, but for now, we'll just have the luminous crafting table here, and I guess we can throw our light well right there as well, and the grindstone. And that'll probably be it for tonight, because we don't need to get into Astral Sorcery any right now, because we're way ahead in Astral Sorcery compared to Ember, and they kind of need to be done together, I'm pretty sure, to progress in this age. Anyways, we should, actually I already crafted up all the stuff, we are done making all of this, and now I just need to, oh yeah, I just need to place it in there. I killed a dragon, it was the one that was over there, if you remember from episode 1. The one that was, let me show you really quickly, over here. And it was kind of harassing us a little bit, just kind of, you know, being a little too close. I guess we can go loot this place now. I don't really have any reason not to anymore. We can definitely get some gold. There's some creepers to be had around here. Thank you for looting my chest for me. Some iron, some gold. Nothing too fancy. Alright, fully looted. Not much to write home about. I got a band of aura. Kind of useless at this point in time. I don't even remember what it actually does. Does this just hold mana on my person? In like ring form? I don't remember. We can upgrade our pants. I got a bunch of iron from that actually. Avoid crystal block. And a couple of these like what are they called? Nuclear craft things. These are kind of useless. This can be turned into an RTG. This can be turned into an RTG. And this can also be turned into an RTG. So once we have the ability to make these, which require not like a crazy amount of infrastructure, I don't think, we will have the ability to just automatically, passively produce about 600 RF per tick, which I assume is going to be very nice in the future. Bye-bye, pants. And as you can see, unfortunately, hey, you stop that. I don't have any ranged attacks. I have to kill you by hand. And unfortunately, as you can see, this is a male dragon, so we didn't get any dragon eggs, but we can also loot up his stuff and probably turn this into some pretty nice armor. By the way I killed this guy was... Do I want this? Can I eat it? Oh, I'm just gonna eat it right now. Do dragon scales put me on fire? What puts me on fire? What? Okay, I have no idea what put me on fire, but we have a dragon heart, we have some more dragon flesh, and I believe these emerald scales turn into some pretty mighty fine armor. And they have some decent durability. So maybe we'll make some of this eventually once we have the enchantment table. And actually, can we have the enchantment table? Is it a difficult recipe to make? If it isn't, we might... Yeah. Okay. Maybe we'll get enchanting this episode, get some good gear. Anyways, back to the progression. We need to build this bad boy, just like this. It's a bit of a weird structure, but it definitely gets the job done. Is it actually... Oh, it does have little hollow pieces. Interesting. I assume that means this part is hollow too, which means I need to put something down there to place the redstone, just like this. And if I throw my compass in, we should begin crafting. And there we go. That is a mechanical core. And then we just need to make the ember boar, which is this. And I believe the quest for this actually gives us a bunch of initial stuff. Okay, it wants us to make all these lenses because perhaps they will actually matter in this pack. Sealed planks, are they useful for anything? No, they're just a really cool looking block. And they're a little bit... Oh, a slime ball? Nah, that's not that bad. And here we go, easy peasy. There's the ember boar, and I believe we're actually going to need to make another mechanical core to interface this thing. So if we place this down, as you can see, it's a 3x3, but it only has one slot to input and output. Since we don't have access to Ender IO conduits for quite a little while, we are going to need one of these guys to expand the amount of blocks amount of sides you can interface this thing from 1 to 5. Alright, so now we're back down at bedrock, just below the house. There's a tunnel all the way up. I'm going to put ladders here just so we can access this easily, and we need to place the ember boar, place the second mechanical core. I didn't show myself making it because it was raining and it was loud, and rain makes the bitrate terrible. I have some item ducts opaque because they can be crafted at this point. They don't require any glass. It's just some tin and lead, which we can do both. I ran into an iron, nickel, and gold vein on the way down, which is also incredibly useful. And then we need 2 chests, which are on my hotbar, like that and like that. And to use the thermal item pipes, you need servos. So we need to pump in on one side and extract on the other. I can just click on this, turn off the redstone control so it'll be always active, and it'll send 8 items per operation, and every operation is quite slow. At the moment, what we want to do is probably toss out a bunch of stuff, convert all these into coal, and throw it in here, and hopefully this thing gets running. It does have to be placed on or just very close to bedrock, so that's why it's down here. And yeah, there it goes. It's very loud. Over time, it will produce ember chunks, ember shards. Those will get shoved into here, and hopefully we do everything correctly, and it'll work. I'll come check up on it in a little bit. And I'm back down here, and it appears as though our machine is working properly. These are the 3 things that you get from it. I don't know what the ember grit does. I guess it's a smelting thing. These 2 are used to power, however, the ember activator, which is important. Also, the quest made me make an machine accessor. I don't know why, but now I have it. And this thing actually works fairly quickly. We might actually be in a decent ember chunk. We can check the atmospheric gauge. I don't know what that means. I'm going to assume that's decent. So we're getting enough ember for our needs at the time. At this point, we want to make the ember activator, and we need to make the initial one before we're allowed to make the pressure refinery, which is much more efficient. So I'll just not do that right now. Copper, couple iron plates, little furnace. Some of these guys use some caminite plates, but those are quite easy. And we can just do the fast ladder from quark all the way back up to our place, fly over that, and, have easy access to all of our stuff. Okay, I went ahead and made the ember activator and the receptors. The quest reward gave us the rest of the stuff we need, like the tinker's hammer and some levers and a copper cell, which is actually pretty cool. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put embers over here with the intention of eventually turning this into a room. I'm just not going to put a roof on it right now because I'm kind of lazy at the moment and would rather focus on progression for this episode. So let me lay out a little bit of a floor, and I'll be right back. So Embers is a little bit confusing, so let's go through it together. First, we want the Ember activator. Items have to be piped into the bottom block, so we'll pipe them in with this. And as you can see, they go very slowly into this guy. This guy doesn't need anything special. It should just begin producing embers, just like that, as it has the ability to do so. Then we're going to need an emitter attached to the top block here, and a receptor attached to where we want the embers to go. For now, I want this to be a copper cell. Then you need your tinker's hammer. I think it's shift right click. You have to go from the end point to the initial point, and then you just apply a redstone signal to this guy somehow. The easiest way is levers. And as we can see, this thing should begin filling up. And if we have our lens, I think we can look at this. No. If we put an ember dial, though, we can look at it. And we have 560 and gaining. Where is there a zombie? Anyways, this thing we can use as almost like a splitter of sorts. So if we want to get embers to a different point on this, we just put an ember emitter here, give it its own redstone signal. Where do my levers go? Right here. Give it its own redstone signal, and if we attach it to something, another emitter, it'll send there. What I want to do with this first, I think, is maybe set up... we should just do progression right now. So stamp base and stamper. We don't need ore processing yet. Oh yeah, while I'm waiting for some plates to craft up... Oh, I even put the wrong thing in here. We don't need an iron plate. We need a copper plate. I did make one change here. Apparently, the item collector from Cyclic is a very good item collector. You can filter it just natively, and it'll collect within a configurable range up to 19 by 19, apparently. I have it set to 5 by 5, and just to pick up this raw radiant quartz, so we'll slowly gather this as it gets produced, which is really nice. Now I don't even have to think about it anymore. Next, what we want is the stamper set up here. So it's a stamp base, one air block gap. The stamper, you can put whatever type of plate on there, but the quest says we want a plate stamp right now, and then you just connect it up like I said you do. We also can put a bin below it for it to automatically push its product into, the bin. And then we can extract from that bin into a chest. I don't have one. Let me go grab one. We can get away with the thermal pipes for now, however, we have to use the Embers fluid pipes, which require an extractor block. I guess it has to be extracted out of here, and then we just, pipe into this. So what's happening here is we did actually need the melter because this stamp base only uses fluids in the recipe. You can put something in there to be stamped onto, but it does require a fluid. And the things that we're making are these spec die. So we need a copper one, and we need a silver one. So we need some ember shards as well as some molten silver, or molten whatever. That's 4 per, and we need 2 each. And then we just need to throw them into the light well, throw them into. That's a weird recipe. Interesting though. So we can make molten things in the light well. That's really interesting. So we don't need the melter, but I'm still going to use it anyways. And have we run out of ember, or is this thing filled up? We've run out of ember. So I'm going to go check that thing and put a servo here, and we can hopefully start making some spec die. All right. So if I've done this correctly, what I should be able to do is throw this silver in here. It'll get pushed into this thing. This thing will start melting. Yeah? Yeah? Did I overlook something in the melter? Attach an ember receptor to the correct side of the melter. It is attached. To connect the two ember transmitters. Shift yes. You can then click on the melter to place things in the recipe or pipe them in. This is one of the first methods of ore doubling. There's a chance this is wrong. This might need to be here. And then we can attach them. Maybe? And you'll start melting. Well, there we go. Apparently this thing accepts embers on the bottom block, which is just inherently the worst thing in the entire world. But I think I'll live. So, we should begin melting liquid silver. I need to extract from here, so that's going to require a redstone signal. And that goes into here. And we're making plates. That is not what I want to do. So I should put these in first, shouldn't I? Like that. And then if I put the plate thing down here, it makes the right thing for me. Yeah. Make me another one. You gonna do it? Oh, it didn't. Okay, this thing is confusing me. So now, once the next thing of silver goes in here, it should go. Alright? That's a valid recipe. I'm almost certain of it. Oh wait, no. I need 2 more. I need to put the rest of these in here. And once those melt, it'll be a valid recipe. It's 576, not 288. And there we go. Perfect. So now I should have, in a moment, the next aspectus, and I put the copper in there, so that should begin working up as well. And then we just need to get a little bit of liquid starlight going, which isn't hard either. I just need to, I guess I'll bring my light well over here, and we can start, doing some of those fluid recipes. We need these. The reason we need these is to turn them into the smeltery controller, which opens up the next stage, I think, because we're allowed to alloy in the full smeltery. Remember that thing I said about us having to use ember pipes? Yeah, completely disregard it. Oh man, please stop. I'm doing your mod, be happy. You can just use the Ender IO pipes. They're just literally normal glass and some conduit binder, which is super cheap and completely doable. Also, ignore this. Game has been updated to survival mode. I was taking a picture for the thumbnail at the end of last episode, and I wanted to get a better angle of this thing. So, yeah, I'm not cheating, I promise. I'm not going fast enough to be cheating, that's for sure. Okay, first in-world fluid infusion, and it looks like it's instant, which is pretty nice. It just means I have to wait for this thing, which is very slow. Is it worth literally making more of them? It might be worth literally making more of them right now. What's the recipe for this? Yeah. I didn't actually make any more light wells. I just kind of waited and set up my smeltery in the process because I had made a ton of seared bricks initially in the first episode, I think, and now we have a 5x5 internal smeltery, and it is already too tall, which means I can smelt a total of 50 things at a time, I think. And we have a capacity of 400 ingots. Casting table there, seared faucet there, and that should be the smeltery for the time being. I can put this tank over here as well in my cache of tanks. Actually, I'm going to go fill all of these up, and this should just be enough lava for forever. Alright, here we go, all filled up, and that's a ton of lava. And this one's not full all the way because you can't fill up partial of a bucket with a bucket, which is pretty obvious. And this thing looks disgusting right now because I'm gonna change out the tile of this floor and bring it. I want to leave it at this level though, just so we keep things consistent. And now that the smeltery is working, we should. Does it want more for this quest, or did I just complete it? It wants me to have a seared drain casting basin and a bunch of seared bricks in my thing at the same time. Okay, so I have to tear this down just a little bit, and I'll be right back. It looks like the first alloy we want to craft is bronze, and I completed this quest. It gives us some seared brick. Not super useful. Oh, and this gives us some liquid starlight. How nice. And a bucket. Bronze is an alloy of copper and tin. It's a 3-to-1 copper to tin ratio. So, I don't know. I have 21 copper in there. More in here, so we'll take the 21. Do I have some tin? Yeah, so we'll take 7 tin, and we'll just turn this into all 28 bronze for the time being. And, let's make sure, or I'll just look up bronze, just so we can make sure that this does indeed work. I would assume it does, considering, this is how we're supposed to make our first alloys, and it is 3-to-1. Okay, perfect. So we'll melt this in here. It should all melt fairly quickly. These are pretty soft metals. Tin is an incredibly soft metal. And once this gets done, I'll come back to you. Okay, it all melted up, and as we can see, it's alloying slowly into bronze. The way this works is actually a little bit weird. So in the recipe here, you can see it says 3 copper to 1 tin, 3 milligrams copper to 1 tin. I think it does one of these operations every tick. So per second, we're doing 60 copper, or we're creating 20 millibuckets of bronze. No, 20 times 4. We're doing 80 millibuckets of bronze per second. It doesn't really matter. Either way, it is done, and I can just use these tables to get my stuff out. Invar seems to be a really commonly used alloy in the next part. Just kind of looking through some recipes. We need it for the blacksmith's table. We need it for the engineer's hammer. We need it probably all over the place in the next chapter. Chapter 3, steel. And I guess our goal in this chapter is to eventually get to steel using the high oven, which is really weird, something I've never used before. But for now, I just want to get a little bit of Invar so that I can, one, make this hammer, make this table, which probably means I should be casting into plates now, instead of these ingots. And we can just kind of open up these quests and try and get to the simple network controller eventually. There's the blacksmith's work table, and lucky for us, we've just opened up some time, or some places for it to be. And we can turn this into a workstation once we get some steel, which I guess is an upgrade, but I don't really know what that means. Okay, so what we can do in here, if we put some lava in, is do 1-to-1 plates. I don't know if I'll actually make use of this, but we definitely could. We have more plates in the pack, which is interesting. And this is also how we're going to be making rods for the foreseeable future, it appears, and wire, which is something we'll probably need once we get into immersive engineering. So let's not worry about that for the moment. Actually, what did that open up? It opened up this intro to rock hounding, which is a multi-block, actually. Concrete is annoying, but not that hard. Piston is easy, and Invar scaffolding should not be that hard either. Okay, there's the engineer's hammer, which should complete a quest. And next we want the coke bricks, because those are the next step. Okay, so this is a vanilla recipe. Nothing has been changed here, which is quite cool. Maybe we can finish that off before the episode's over. Ooh, we have storage crates. Those are really, really nice. I almost forgot, these artisan work tables also has a toolbox thing here, and I made this artisan's hammer because it allows us to make it allowed us to make plates early on, 2-to-1. But I can just put that in there, and we can see all of our tools over in the left side over here, which is really nice once we have multiple different tools, because this thing does use at least a couple of different tools, so that'll be useful. And now that I've smelted up all of my bricks and get a little bit of clay, I should be able to do all 9 crafts of these guys that are required. Alright, put the clay back, and for now we can just set up a coke oven somewhere. The question is, do I want to do that over here? I don't know if the answer is yes. For now, let's do a somewhat ugly answer to that question. and temporarily set it up here. This is a not hollow structure, unlike in GregTech. It is entirely filled in, 27 whole blocks, and you whack it with the engineer's hammer to form it, and then you can just throw coal in, and it'll make some coal coke. Let's make a tank for this so it doesn't fill up immediately. You know what? We can deal with automating this later. I did add a hopper to the top and a hopper to the bottom, so we'll automatically pull out the coal coke, but this will fill up after 24 pieces of coal coke. That's not that bad. Let's also check what this opened up. It looks like it opened up these guys because these required treated wood. Okay. And it just wants us to make the engineer's workbench because this also requires treated wood. And that is another gate for the simple network controller. Once we get the engineer's workbench, we're opening this up. And then we just need to do the intro to rock hounding, which is what we'll probably work on next time. I want to get to a unified inventory as soon as possible because they're just kind of incredibly nice. Let's take a look at the network controller really quickly. The simple network controller, that is. This one. And, okay. It definitely wants some nested crafting. Can we make this in the alloy? Can we alloy it? No. I'm sure there's a way to make it... Am I looking at the right thing? At simple. No, I am not looking at the right thing. We want a network master. We want this thing, which is this, which requires some electrum, which we can entirely just make now. Void plates will require the atomic reconstructor, and iron foil will require the profiling bench, which is what we're going to make next time. So it looks like we're in a good way. We'll have to go to the nether for the nether quartz, but other than that, you know, we're doing well. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, maybe leave a like or something. I don't really know. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.